Hello and welcome to Slow Night, Ancient Tales. Tonight we continue the sixth chapter of the Korean classic novel, The Tale of Yi Daebong. Tonight we follow Aehwang's radiant journey, a woman who never broke beneath hardship and who now rises toward the highest heights the world has to offer. Settle in and lean into the gentle sway of this old story once more. I hope your night tonight is untroubled and calm. How glad I am, how glad I am! Yet how long you were, how long you were. My lady's return was so long delayed. Why did it take so long? Did you linger to comfort the two royal consorts, turned to spotted bamboo on the Xiao River's banks? Did you comfort Wang Zhaojun, living out her years in a foreign land? Did you comfort Consort Yu beneath the moonlit night at Haixia? Did you cross the Magpie Bridge over the Milky Way to meet the Weaver Girl and the herdsman? Did you seek the elixir of immortality as the first emperor of Qin once did? Did you follow the immortal Mago to Mount Tiantai to witness mulberry fields turn to open sea? Did you follow Su Wu to the northern sea, learning the virtue of unbending loyalty? Did you follow the brothers Boyi and Shuki up Mount Shouyang, gathering wild ferns to eat? Did you go gather moonlit verses on an autumn night at Chaishi River? Did you turn away from a minister's high office, shaking off worldly cares along the 7-mile rapids of Autumntong River? Did you take up Yiyang's dagger and hide yourself at Jiaoxia? Did you become Zhangliang's iron hammer, wandering through Bolangsha? Did you serve as an envoy of Qin, watching for the enemy's movements? Did you become Lu Shang at the Wei River, feeding fish beneath the night clouds? Why, oh why did it take so long? I, poor unfortunate Nanyang, followed the example of the lone pine standing firm through frost and snow. And you, my lady of the jade face and cloud-dark hair, became a man in form, and who among that awe-inspiring, heaven-taught host of officials could ever have guessed your true self? Since I bid you farewell that day, I have thought of you every waking hour, living as one half-mad, half-drunk with longing. Now heaven itself has taken pity and let us meet again. My joy is beyond ordinary joy, and my sorrow beyond measure. The two of them wept together, holding each other, until at last they calmed themselves and spoke of all that had happened in the time apart, tears falling gently between them. Aehwang went into the ancestral shrine, bowed twice in deep mourning, and came back out to speak to Nanhyang. If I hold fast to my original resolve and grow old, shut away in these women's quarters, who will ever clear my family's unjust name? There is a state examination now. If by heaven's fortune I should pass through the dragon gate of success, I could finally settle the grief of my whole life. You must tell no one of who I truly am. Guard this house in my place and tend faithfully to our ancestors' rights. With these words, she bid Nanyang farewell, left Zhangmidong that very day, and arrived at last in the capital. It was now the 8th day of the 4th month. On the day of the examination, the emperor took his seat in the grand hall, and all the assembled scholars waited for the examination topic to be announced amid the clear, elegant sounds of court music, as if even the parrots themselves danced to the melody. Among the officials in attendance, the chief academician was chosen to bring forth the emperor's own topic, and it was raised high before the assembled scholars at the Dragon Gate. The topic read, "In this spring of the Songhua era, select the talented." Haewon studied the topic, composed her answer in her mind, and taking up her coral-handled brush in her jade-white hand, wrote across the paper in one unbroken stroke, her calligraphy flying and coiling like a dragon in motion. She was the very first to submit her paper. The chief examiner read it and, unable to find a single flaw to mark, presented it directly to the emperor, declaring, "Not a single word calls for correction. Every character deserves the highest mark. Every phrase merits the deepest praise." The emperor, greatly pleased, said, "I wish to find a truly talented subject, and indeed I have found one." He opened the sealed name on the paper and read, "Zhang Haewon of Zhangmidong, Yeonam." The officer in tea, Harj, went down to announce the results, and Haewon came forward and knelt before the palace steps. The emperor himself called her up, took her by the hand, offered her 3 cups of royal wine, and gently patted her back, saying, "The former Halim scholar Zhang Hua was once a pillar of my court. That you are said to be his son fills me with the greatest joy." He appointed her at once to the position of Halim scholar. Aehwang bowed in gratitude and left the palace gate. A royal flower in her hair, an official's robe upon her shoulders, a jade belt at her waist, over blue silk and gold brocade, seated gracefully high upon a saddled horse with golden trappings, moving serenely down the great avenue of the capital. Pairs of attendants in embroidered robes cleared the way before her, a blue silk parasol rose high into the air, and the calls announcing her procession echoed through the eastern quarter of the city, filling all 10,000 households with a sense of something new and wondrous. Everyone who watched from either side of the road could not help but praise her. Her jade-white face and noble bearing, her dignified presence, her brows like distant blue mountains touched with quiet grace, her eyes like a phoenix soaring above Mount Dan, truly a hero for the ages. After 3 days of celebration, she bowed once more before the emperor, then returned to her hometown of Giju, where she paid respects at the ancestral shrine and swept the family graves. Joy and sorrow mingled together. Who now would call her my lady again? Only Nanhyang, alone, felt both grief and gladness all at once. After bidding farewell at the shrine and the family graves, Aehwang called Nanhyang to her, entrusted the household to her care once more, and set off for Yeonnam. Meanwhile, the right state counselor Wang Hui addressed the emperor, saying, "The former Hallam scholar Zhang Hua had no son. Yet Zhang Aehwang of Yeonnam has claimed falsely to be his son, and thereby gained the position of Hallam. I beg your majesty to interrogate Aehwang and punish this deception, that the court's integrity be preserved." The emperor grew angry and replied, "The bond between father and son is not something an outsider can easily judge. How is it that you claim to know this so precisely, that you would seek to harm Aehwang?" Wang Hui broke into a sweat and withdrew. Meanwhile, the Hallam scholar arrived at the household of the late Inspector Choi in Yeonnam and paid his respects to Lady Ho. Lady Ho took his hands, overjoyed beyond words, delighting in his return. She hoped, before long, to see the marriage between him and her daughter finally take place. But just then, the emperor, holding the Hallam scholar in high esteem, sent a messenger summoning him urgently to court. The Hallam scholar accepted the command and hurried to prepare for the journey, while Lady Ho asked only that he return to her soon. That's all for tonight's story. Having passed through a long tunnel of hardship, Aehwang now returns home in glory, a royal flower in her hair, her dignified figure seeming to shine through the night air itself. I hope tomorrow brings you moments just as bright and radiant. Now, set down every worry and slip gently into a peaceful dream. Have a warm, tender night. Sleep well.